thing is, I got a nice video mix.
Okay.
Of Madism. This is Hakim Green, Channel Live and Direct, BDP all day, every day. Episode 2, Madism TV with my co-host, Bulletz Gotti. Say what up, Bulletz Gotti. Let them know what it is.
Salute to the people. Salute to the people. Salute to the people. Madism TV. Salute to my brother Hakim Green. Salute to the big bro behind the scenes, MBK. Salute.
Salute MBK, no doubt.
Definitely gotta say salute.
Yeah, so we got a fire show number 2 for you people out there this week. And we're gonna get acclimated with the system. I got a nice Madism video mix that was chefed together by my homeboy DJ Silos out in LA. In the Bay Area. Let me get it right. Let me not misrepresent the God. But he hooked it up right nice. So I figured I would play that video mix. It's about 13 minutes long. That'll give us time to invite people, get people in the building, make sure we got the technical stuff taken care of. And with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and share this, and then we're gonna get it rocking.
We're gonna get it rocking.
Let me just there we go. Now, boys and girls, you gotta bear with Hakim Green. I'm trying to get it together. Let me close these right here. So when I share this, it's all good in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Train who could. Told Doc I had some pain. You don't skip that shit I should. Something for the brain that aches and pains. So hang around the street like candy canes. They flooded with the drum like when Sandy came. Talking on the guard shit like Andy's name.
I treat a blunt like a kitty. Lick it, pour I slit it. Stuff it when I touch it. Puff it when I clutch it. Wicked with the swisher. Straight headshot, Amy Fisher. A cush critter. Ass splitter. Hash hitter. A lung collapser. Hip puffer. Stash rusher. A true puffer. Porta potty noodle flusher. Mad get 'em. Mad foggy. Mad women. Buzz mad fluffy. Mad dirty. Mad ism. Got a stash with more than 5 on it. I'm a loony with my goonies. I put my 9 on it. More weed. More scale. So tricky. No seeds. No stems. So sticky. My dogs fight. They all fight. Rock wallers. Red eyes. For red man and hot dollar. All we do is smoke madism in the back of a stolen prison. Bringing my homie home from prison. All we do is smoke madism. All we do is smoke madism. All we do is smoke madism. Yeah. All we do is smoke madism.
Culturally, there has been a war waged against.
Yes.
Culturally, we dealt with different herbs, different plants, different foods that have over time become illegal.
When When you invade a place for its resources, you wipe out the indigenous population. Right now, we are being colonized.
Today, we're going to meet several people who are former employees of our United States government, people who have looked at this over years who will say, whether it was conspiracy or not, they don't want to talk about it. But did the CIA know the drugs were coming into the United States of America and help it get here? The answer to the question is yes.
Teacher, tell them how we do it. Mad means a lot. It's a mean to pop. We gon' keep it moving, means we won't ever stop. Mad means a lot. It's a mean to pop. We gon' keep it moving, means we won't ever stop. Mad means a lot. It's a mean to pop. We gon' keep it moving, means we won't ever stop. Mary J. Reefer, weed, ganja. Mary J. Reefer, weed, ganja. Mary J.
Relax social distancing and other mitigation measures they put in place. The president's been issuing to begin easing the nationwide guidelines meant to stem the outbreak and contain the economic fallout. Well, the weekly jobless numbers are out, and they are a staggering show of the early impact of the new coronavirus on the economy. Around 3.3 million people filed for unemployment in the past week, far exceeding the previous record from 1982.
This goes out. That I will use my brain. This goes out. That I love is just for special people. Yes, like you. If you're reaching for the sky, you know you can do anything you want to. It just get into it. I believe that I will use my brain for the right baby. I believe that I'll choose this life for the right. I believe I'll treat tonight.
Yeah, this is your boy Hakim Green, Channel Live, live and direct, BDP, all day, every day. All we do is spark Madism, live and direct on the Madism TV show with my co-host, Bulletz Gotti. Peace to the God.
Salute, peace of the God, peace of the big bro, Hakim Green, you know, Madism TV. Feel good, you know what I'm saying? We about to vibe out. Legendary interview. The first episode was great. This is the second episode, so it's gonna be legendary today, man.
So you know, we got our special guest waiting in the queue. We want to bring her right in. We don't want to really waste no time. We want to get right to it. So with no further ado, we got the Queen, Roxanne Shante.
Hey. How's everybody?
Everybody's good.
Doing peace and
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, over here. So, you know, I'm honored. We're honored. You know, we thank you for being a part of this launch, Madism TV. This is a very special month, being Hip Hop History Month. So, yeah, we wanted to celebrate that month with the right voices from the culture. You know, yeah, we talk about rap and the rap game, but there's certain voices that just represent the culture. Last week we had Grand Mixer DXT.
Okay.
This week, you know, we had, you know, we can't do anything without really sisters going, okay, it's a go. So, you know, we're so happy and blessed to have you a part of Madism TV.
Oh, thank you. I listen, I am honored. You know, when you just associate me with being one of the voices of hip hop, like I am truly honored with that.
Yeah. You know, God, you want to throw something in there, right?
Oh, I just want to say, you know, it's an honor to be in your presence. You know what I'm saying? You are a legend. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I enjoyed the movie, Roxanne. Pretty great movie. I have to say, classic. You know what I'm saying? It was a great story, and it detailed a lot of history. And you had the great Nas in the end. I liked it, that ending with Nas in the end. You know, for this day, that was one of the dopest endings ever. I gotta say, I thought that was dope. That was real legendary right there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, one of the things that we definitely made sure is that I wanted to make sure that the movie was, you know, not only organic in telling my story, but also making sure that it was truthful in telling everybody else's. So that scene that you actually seen at the end of the movie wasn't I wasn't the first person to say that. Nas actually revealed that in his documentary. So, you know, because I'm one of those people that I have a really great connection with the universe. So one of the things about it is that I don't talk about the things that I do for other people. It's up to them to reveal that. And then, you know, then that allow me to speak on it. But other than that, you know, I don't do it. But he happened to put it inside of, you know, his documentary, and that allowed me to use it in the movie. And he said to me, he said, why wouldn't you just use it? I said, no, because that's not how it works. You know, when you do something for somebody, you don't say, okay, I'm the reason why they do this, or I'm the reason why they became this person. You kind of let them, you know, go to greatness and then allow them to do it. And if they don't do it, it's okay.
Definitely. I agree,
You,
Queen.
you know, since the set the stage, Madism, of course, we know was a hit single by, you know, Channel Live and KRS-One, and we say Madism, you know, we talking about weed, you know, we talking about the weed, but Madism also represents all the isms in our life: racism, fascism, socialism, sexism, capitalism,
okay,
lyricism. You know, so we use the Madism platform to kind of springboard into all those conversations as I get down with what I do, which is burn the Madism. But seeing as though we're talking about hip hop culture, you know, I think it's imperative for our watchers to understand what formed you as a hip hopper and as an MC. We know you come from Queensbridge, but you also have roots in Newark. So can you just talk about your early time in hip hop culture and the things that kind of formed you when you was a young? I mean, we saw the movie, but we want to hear from your voice.
Oh, well, actually, what I consider what I have is called the Nipsy Russell syndrome. That's the ability to rhyme about anything at any time when you want to. And being able to do that allowed me to be a phenomenal battle rapper. And I was never one to go around bragging and boasting. I just went around and, you know, I would actually win a lot of contests. Like, you know, still can say that I retired undefeated. Like I just had a great run, I must say, you know, and one of those things about it allows me to sit back now and have the greats come to me, like, you know, Nas and Buster and DMX and, you know, Snoop, and have all of these different artists say like, yo, listen, you know, you made me want to do this. Listening to you be able to do this, like you would just roll up by yourself. But that was because for me, unlike a lot of other MCs, they came in it as a hobby, as a you know, as something for them to do for sport and play. But for me, it was always a job. Like I got paid from the first moment that I did it, and I still get paid up until the last moment that I did it. And so I never saw it as something to play with. So when I came very seriously. I came straight to the stage. I did what I was supposed to do. I collect my money and I'd leave. So for me, it became a job. Before a lot of people, if they weren't taking it that serious. I mean, they took the losses serious because they were like upset about it or whatever, but they didn't understand that I came to win. Like I came there with money already spent in my head. Like I already knew what this money was going to go do. So that's almost like, that's just like how so many of our young brothers get caught up in hustling. They don't necessarily go out there because they think it's cool to look over their shoulder and duck the police and everything else. But as soon as he goes outside, already in his mind, he has in order the things that he's already got to spend. Like that money's already spent.
Yeah.
So if money is already spent, I must get it. I have no choice but to get it, to achieve it, because if I don't get it, now all the things I thought I was going to spend have now gotten even further out of reach for me. So for me, you know, hip hop literally saved my life.
So when you first time you started rhyming, the first time you was like, yo, that's something I think I want to do. Who were the MCs that sparked that in you? Like, was it folks from the neighborhood? Was it the radio? What was it? What was that?
No, the first time that I thought anything about MCing, I saw Nipsey Russell on was he on I think he was on Hollywood Squares. If he wasn't on Hollywood Squares, he was on a Match Game. And for the entire show, he rhymed. Everything he did was a rhyme. So I said to myself, like, wow, if I could do that, if I could just do that for a day, I'd be able to do that for my entire life. So I remember the very next day in my mind, I spent the whole entire day rhyming about everything, just making everything rhyme up until I went to sleep. And when I woke up the next morning, I had already perfected it. Wow. And a lot of people were saying like, well, why would you say like Nipsey Russell? Not to be confused with Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Russell.
But that's an important point, that Nipsey Russell had the impact on hip hop from before Nipsey Hussle.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So Nipsey Russell, who, if you've ever seen the movie The Wiz, he's the one who plays the Tin Man.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever listened to Nas, that's the sample that Nas used in his record. And the thing about it was Nipsey Russell, for me, was more than just a comedian. He was a comedian who had the art of words. You know, it's one thing when you can just say what you want to say and make people laugh, but it takes a certain special ability to make those words rhyme. The same way, you know, when other MCs sit down and you know, anybody can sit down and write words on a paper, but can you make them rhyme? Can you make them make sense? Can you make hooks? Can you connect them? So being able to do all of that without paper, you know, has to be a special art form. And I remember, you know, Nipsey Russell doing that. And when Nipsey Russell passed away, it was devastating to me that more people from hip hop were not there to pay their respects to, you know, but then again, sometimes, unfortunately, people get caught up in hip hop and they tend to lose and forget. Like, even when I don't know if y'all know or whatever, but like a few years ago, Sia La had passed away. And I was expecting so many more people from hip hop to be there to send God off, to pay those respects. And they weren't. And that's when I realized that, you know, Roxanne Shante is just cut from a different cloth. I'm just a different breed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to say, I want to keep it origin, but just for the respect of you, like, you are one of the realest people in this thing. No, because, you know, Roxanne Shante, the artist, the character, the image, the icon, the diva, like, there's a certain, but when I meet you, it's like, yo, you touch everybody the same way, no different. It could be Jay-Z, it could be whoever. It's gonna be the same love and respect, and that's why I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And that's because you're all my brothers, and we're all human, and we all have to walk this walk. And, you know, some of us are going to talk this talk, but I know we all must walk this walk. And I prefer to walk it together than to walk it alone. I know what it's like to walk alone. So, you know, maybe that day when I stop and I speak to someone and they say, oh, shit, Roxanne Shante. And I say, shit, look, move over. Let me sit next to you. My feet hurt. You know, it's a way of letting them understand, like, look, whatever you may be going through, somebody may have already went through it. And if I'm a representation of someone that has went through the struggle, who has literally been through it, you know, and now I can come in and just and spark a little life into your situation, or let you know that there's a possibility to come out of it, because, you know, I've been through the group homes. You know, I was brutally attacked when I was younger. I've been a victim of domestic violence. I live in a red zone. Like right now, you know, I live in the South Ward of Newark, New Jersey, which they consider to be a red zone.
Yeah, big shout out to Roz Baraka, by the way. Committee doing it all, everybody. Yes.
And the thing about it is that, you know, people will say, well, you know, why are you still here? And I say, because there's some little girl who needs to see me. There's some little boy who needs to see me, that they need to know that even when their cable is cut off, that greatness is still right around the corner from them. They need to know that just because, you know, everybody else is wearing name brands, I more so say, look, fuck name brands. Make your name a brand. Come back, build up your community, and you'll be able to be a legend forever. Because that's what you want to do. You want to be able to, you want to achieve greatness by making sure that everyone you came in contact with, you pointed out their greatness to them. There's enough people tearing each other down. There's enough people talking about, oh, I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to live here. I'm not going to do that. Like, yo, listen, I live here. You know, and my thing is, I'm here making a change one little girl at a time. And now we've expanded the program to one little boy at a time also. And at the end of the day, I do what I can. I tell everybody, look, I'm not no 50. I'm not no Jay-Z. I've taken it. There's been days where I've had my program and I've piled 20 little girls in my car driving back and forth to get them.
Your program, talk about the program. Be more specific so people know exactly what it is and what you're doing.
My program is called Mind Over Matter, and I do it inside of public schools only, which means schools like, for instance, I've had a lot of private schools approach me because they feel like they could pay me more money in order for me to participate because they want to lead their girls on a certain path. But then I tell them, like, listen, they already have an advantage that my girls don't. I want to say 37% of my girls that come through my program come through the foster care system, which made me become a CASA. I'm a court-appointed special advocate in Essex County for children who are in foster care because I get to knock on the doors, talk to the foster parents and tell them like, yo, listen, you fucking up that check. You can't send her out here like this with no code.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And I have found that my approach, even though it may seem a little brash at times, but my approach has allowed even some foster parents to change the way they foster these children in their homes.
Yeah.
They'll say, you know what, you're right, Shantae, let me get ahead. I'm gonna do this. You know what? I'm going through these changes. And I just try to help everyone. So with Mind Over Matter, not only are we involved in trying to make sure that they graduate high school, go on to higher education, but also make sure that their home life is better. Because I know what it's like to be a little girl and be out there with no one.
Yeah. Well, the movie shows that, like, that movie, man, like it just, because I came up during the same time. So there's so many things about the movie that captured the 80s, 84, 85, 86. Like it got, I walked with you in this movie. And that was a beautiful thing. Now on the flyer, you got the what's that Louis Vuitton joint?
Yeah.
The shirt. Somebody had asked, you know, where'd you get it? How old is it? And do you still have it?
Okay, yes, I still have it. I'm a person who I kind of like, I keep, because I don't want to say collect, but I have kept quite a few items from the 80s, including like my son's clothing, especially all of my Dapper Dan outfits, because I knew that one day, first of all, we had paid so much fucking money for them then.
That's right.
I knew that eventually that they were going to be needed for something. So now actually we loan these clothes out to movies, and people need them for shows or videos or even commercials. So we have turned our vintage clothing, our own personal clothing, actually into a business. So yes, I do still have it. I can't fit it, but I do have it.
That's so dope. That like hip hop, it's not what we do, is how we do it, right?
Yeah.
So you collect clothing items from the 80s that in the moment you had no idea. I mean, of course it was expensive because Dapper Dan, it's the LV, it's the Gucci, it's the all that. Yeah. But to think that now I'm going to make another income leasing my stuff out to productions,
right?
That's a flip that hip hoppers need to understand, that we put so much value on things because we do it. We add value that value accrues for later on down the line. So just hold on to all your hip hop items because you never know what they're going to be worth 30 years from now.
Absolutely. So many times everybody gets, like, now we call this generation the one wear generation, because whatever they get that's really, really fly, they can only wear it one time, because once you post it up, you can't wear it again. That's the way they feel. They feel like if I wear this again, they're going to be like, oh, they got on the same outfit from the same time. So now everything has become one wear. So when they purchase these items, they need to look at whether or not they should even be purchased or if they should just be rented. I put a lot of emphasis on what they do with brands. And most people say, oh, well, let them use their money. Let them do what they want to do with their money. But at the end of the day, these are my brothers and sisters. And as time goes on, if I know that they're able to do something better with that money, why wouldn't I speak on it? Now, whether or not they choose to do it, that's on them. Like this jacket here that I have behind me, this is one of the original face jackets.
Yeah, please. No, I can't see it. Can you grab it?
Okay. This is an original face jacket. And if you look at it, the year
legendary right there.
This year this was made in 89. Damn. So that just shows you how old this is. This was made in 89. And still today I have it, because again, you buy certain things, you just keep them a certain way. You want to make sure that you they could be worth something later on. So now I have museums that want it, and I tell them, like, right now it's Zoom time, so I need to have that behind me until all this is over, and then I'll put it in a museum. But right now it's it's gonna Zoom with me.
Gotti, hop in, bro. Don't I know. See, Gotti's here we trying to build generational bridges. and Gotti represents the next generation of thought leaders. So we want to make sure his perspective is represented, so we could bring the culture 360. So how
absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Roxanne, I would like to say this to you, Queen. Like, you are a trendsetter of the culture. You know, the whole battle rap thing, when it comes to this battle rap culture, is hip hop in general. You know, what you did with the whole UTFO battle was, you know, legendary. It was ahead of its time. I think your diss track was like the head of its time. It was the one of the like trailblazing diss tracks to now. When you look at diss records, it was disrespectful to the point that a female that was young, you was very young when you did that diss track, and the way you was coming at them on a grown woman level, and they couldn't handle that they had to go get the real Roxanne to come at you with all that, but you was cooking them. Just one little girl cooking 3 grown men on wax. That's legendary. And I seen a lot of females followed your footsteps in hip hop till this day. So I would like to ask you, how do you feel that what you did with that one diss track, now you see how many people following your footsteps when it comes to diss records?
Well, I'm honored. I'm honored that people would feel that the battle rap started with me on wax, because battle rapping was actually what hip hop was about. In order to be the best, you had to beat the best. You know, that was what it was. There was only one number one slot. This was before radio stations made it 5 number one spots. There was only one. So in order to be the one, you had to beat the one. And I feel honored. You know, even the fact of every place I went, every place wanted to come up with their own Roxanne. So if it was the fact that the voice of Roxanne Shante allowed people to know that they could come in here and make records, and they could come in here and get in this industry, or you can make a tape, you know, that everything wasn't about having an expensive studio, that you were able to grow from that, then yes, it's definitely an honor for me. You know what? I just need y'all to hold on one second, because y'all know I just want to my Uber Eats out here.
No, we live and direct Madism TV show with the Bulletz Gotti show. With Roxanne Shante.
Okay, give it to my husband.
It's your boy Hakim Green.
Oh, look, I'm back.
Back in effect. Bow. There you go.
Thank you. See, I told y'all, listen, Roxanne Shante is still Roxanne Shante all day long, baby.
Yeah.
I still yell out the window. It just so happens that my husband, brother Jabbar, happened to meet the man to get the food, but otherwise I'd have had to go get my food. And I think this is why people,
peace to the God, brother Jabbar, no doubt. Big shout to him.
Absolutely. You know, I think this is why people can relate to Roxanne Shante, because of the fact that my radio show, which is Have a Nice Day, which is on Sirius XM, I have 7 million listeners per day. So having a show that has a listenership of 7 million, you know, and it has put us in a great position. But at the end of the day, my brothers call on me and say, listen, I'm doing my show. Are you going to come by? Absolutely. Why? Because those 7 million listeners never stops me from being your sister. And it never stops me from having to yell the fuck out the window when I think the Uber man is going to pull up with my shit.
That's right.
You know, when you order good food, sometimes they get a hold of it. They be like, nah, I ain't get no answer. Or either they try to say they left it on the gate. And I just wanted to make sure they
not having that right now. No, it's all good. It's all good. I think you just brought a entertainment value to our show just now too. By the way, it's all that's great content, great TV. Thank you.
Well, good. I'm glad I was able to do that.
Yeah, but you were in the middle of talking to Gotti about, you know what I'm saying, serving these MCs up back in the day, and being that one. You know, yeah. Definitely for me, you turned my world upside down. You know,
thank you. Thank you.
You know, trendsetter. Now you know, you're from the Juice Crew, and like, you know, these are like superheroes to me.
Aww.
Like it's like superheroes to me. Growing up 15, 16 years old, and you know, coming up during a time when there was no black people on TV. There was no real hip hop on the radio, right? This is this thing that was just our thing, and if you knew what it was, you knew what it was, and y'all were like trend setting what it was.
Yes.
What was it coming up with the Juice Crew? Like how did you meet them? And I know we know I want you to explain it though.
Okay, well, first things first. Hold on one second, because I tried this Burt's Beeswax lip gloss, and this shit got my lips feeling funny. So hold on, let me wipe my mouth so I can talk. So I don't be sitting here talking to y'all doing this, like, because I was trying to smooth it out, and then I was thinking like, man, that's gonna look crazy. The interview, me trying to like I had to take it. I had to take it off. See, yeah. Have my mouth feeling all rough and crazy. Okay, so here we go. So now the thing about it is that the Juice Crew originally started in the Bronx in a club called The Fever. The Juice Crew consists of 7 main hustlers from New York City. And to be a member of the Juice Crew, they had to do things for the community, such as they had to you had to have already paid for 3 burials. You had to have done like 4 or 5 bus trips. You had to have did Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. Like there was a whole list of all of these things you had to do in order to become a Juice Crew member. Damn. So my crew was called Juice Crew All Stars because we were entertainers. So we kind of had a leg up on being able to do things for the community, but we understood what we were required to do. And this was all under a gentleman by the name of Sal Abatello. He was the original owner of The Fever, and he's the one who started the Juice Crew. Juice Crew members would be given a ring. So it was almost like being part of a certain society. So when I made Roxanne's Revenge, we weren't together as the Juice Crew. They were not a crew. It started off with Roxanne Shante went to Marley Marl's home and she did Roxanne's Revenge. I started traveling and I wanted to bring MC Shan along with me, Biz Markie along with me, Big Daddy Kane along with me. So by doing that, while we were out, Mr. Magic, who was known as Sir Juice, who was the first person to play hip hop music on the airwaves on any radio station. He had a show called The Rap Attack, but his name was Sir Juice, and we were his crew. So that's how we came up with the name Juice Crew. And the reason why they always considered me the queen of the crew with the juice, not only because I was the only girl, but because I was the first member. And then I brought everyone else along. And I think that has a lot to do with my longevity. My longevity is not because I wanted to be a girl who wanted to be part of a male crew, but instead they were men who wanted to be part of a girl's crew. So they were like, listen, we want to rock with you. We would like to travel with you. Where are you going? What are you doing? Like, you don't have to be alone. And, I was so used to, moving on my own. I had already been on my own since I was younger. You've seen the movie, so you know what my life was like. So I already understood that, sometimes you just, it's best to move alone. But then when I was able to have the Juice Crew behind me, it allowed me to just say like, man, look, these are my brothers. I am going to take them as such and see them as such. And they saw me as their little sister. And I didn't have any malice in my heart. See, that's where a lot of MCs mess up, or a lot of record companies used to mess up, or now these companies do now, is because when someone would see somebody that was greater than them or better than them, or, showed a different certain type of talent that maybe they did not have yet, what they would do is they would try to hold them back. I was the total opposite. If I saw that you were great, then when they pay me to get up on this stage, I'm going to give you some of this stage time because the world needs to see you. I'm going to share that with you. The same way how I share my platform today. Whatever it is that I have, if the next great is in line and I see it in them, then yeah, I'm going to tell them like, listen, here, it's your turn. You take this. Regardless to who gets us in the door, it's once we're all in the room, everybody does what they're supposed to do. And that's the way I've always felt. And that's the way I will always be. So even when it came time to do shows, people would say, well, this one wants to go on first. This one wants to go on last. I used to say, okay, look, it doesn't matter to me. Wherever you want me to go on is fine with me. It's fine. But if you put me on first, expect the bar to be high.
You better come correct.
If you put me on first, expect the bar to be high, because I'm going to have people, grandmothers dancing. Like I got 3 generations of party up in me.
Wow.
So Roxanne,
yes,
I want to ask you. So when you talked about the Juice Crew, right? You and Shan was the first 2 rappers with Marley, right? Because I know the story that y'all was signed to the Goodmans in Philly, And then before then, y'all went to the Fly Tie and the whole Cold Chillin'. But y'all was the only two rappers that was a part of Marley stable. And then after that, y'all went to Warner Brothers and Cold Chillin' started, right? That's how it went.
Oh, very good, young brother. You did your homework. Very good. Well, yeah, actually, the first company that I was signed to was in Philadelphia because I was such a notorious battle rapper. A lot of rappers in New York City didn't want me on their labels, didn't want me on their record company, so they would not sign me. And then along came the Goodman brothers, who are now Muslim brothers. Hanifa Sharif, but the Goodman brothers at that time, Lawrence and Dana, they said, listen, come down to Philly and you can make whatever records you want. We don't even care. If that's how they want to do you, like, come on. And so that's how I started making records in Philadelphia. So yes, Roxanne Shantae's Roxanne Revenge was actually on Pop Art Records in Philadelphia. And I'm thankful for that because again, that goes back to what I was saying. If someone sees something about you and they feel like you may be better or you may take over or you may do something, they'll do whatever it takes to hold you back. But then there's always going to be somebody that sees that in you and realizes that as great as you become, that's how great I become. Because everywhere you go, you don't have to physically carry me with you, but you spiritually carry me with you.
It's like this. I lift you up, you lift me up. I lift you up. We keep lifting each other up. We get to the roof together.
Absolutely.
Oh man. But to that point, people really read it.
So Roxanne.
One second, Gotti. I want people to really recognize Philadelphia's contribution to hip hop. And the idea that you went to Philly and there was already hip hop culture happening full blown in Philadelphia. A lot of people don't recognize that who are not from Philadelphia. So if you could talk about Philadelphia just real briefly before you get to Gotti.
Okay, well, when I came to Philly, the only record company I knew about in Philly was Pop Art. I didn't know about any other rappers before me. But once I came on Pop Art then had myself, Salt and Pepper, Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, the Youngsters. There were so many that were able to be on Pop Art after me. Steady B and Cool C. Because the thing about it was Pop Art was made up of hustlers. So Pop Art wasn't your regular, and they need to do a movie about Pop Art because Pop Art was not your regular record company. Pop Art was something totally different.
Wow.
Pop Art was like, look, do what you want. Who don't play it, I will take care of that. What needs to be done? This needs to be done. Okay, that's it. Like Pop Art was perfect for me because I was the type of MC that pulled plugs from people on stage. And I didn't pull plugs because their show was better than mine. I pulled plugs because I didn't like my time wasted. So if I'm supposed to be on at a certain time, because I already have a family, I already have a baby. I'm already taking care of my sisters. So if I come here and I know I'm only supposed to be here for 20 minutes, I'm not going to wait 2 hours. So you can get up there and try 3-4 routines if you want. I pull plugs, start my own show, finish my show, and then I would leave. So I needed that type of, I want to say gorilla type
muscle.
There you go.
That muscle. I need that. They don't make it happen. I don't have that. No headaches. I don't have to talk to nobody. I know I'm gonna walk to the stage, get it done.
Absolutely.
Nobody's in my ear. Nothing.
Nothing.
Love it. Hey, Gotti,
Roxanne.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a recording with you and Biz, right? Y'all at the Latin Quarter, right? So during that time, was Biz Markie down with Marley at the time when y'all did that recording, or he was going into getting signed with Marley at the time?
Well,
because I know King comes in that too.
Right. Well, Biz Markie came along with me and Shan. Like Marley didn't come outside of his house to find new talent. Those who had already made records with Marley happened to have other friends or other people they knew, and they would bring them. Marley didn't go searching for talent. So he didn't discover, if I had to say if he discovered anybody, I was the person he discovered. Then I brought Shan. Then next thing you know, we had Biz. Then Biz brought Kane, and so it was never a fact of that. It was always somebody knew someone. And then Marley's house was the only place that we knew where you could record records. You know, so automatically that's where we would bring them. But for me and Biz happened to be tighter than me and anyone else in the Juice Crew. But my main factor is I knew Shan longer than I knew anybody else, because I knew Shan before we even started hip hop. But me and Biz did more traveling than anyone else. And Biz became my orchestra when all of a sudden I no longer had a DJ. Biz stepped in and I never needed a DJ anymore.
Can we just, salutations to the Biz Markie.
Absolutely.
One of the greatest musical minds of our generation.
Definitely.
Just so people know, this brother's understanding of music is phenomenal, and he's so responsible for so many other doors for people that, we want to salute to him and wish him well in his progress.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And he would be happy to hear that, because he is doing so much better. Like, it took us a long time to get to the point of where we are now, where I can smile, about it. So yeah, absolutely. I would definitely tell him.
So working with Biz Markie, like, what was that? Like, he's he's a very special guy. Like,
working with Biz is
international at 15.
Yeah, working with Biz is incredible. You can't explain it. Working with Biz is magical. That's the only thing I can say about it, is that it's magical. You've never known for someone else to come in and have so many different sounds and beats and so much joy and so much knowledge of music, and somebody that could keep up with me on knowledge of cartoons and TV shows and TV themes and travel everywhere. We used to laugh and joke and say that by the time we were 21, we had been around the world 3 times. And there was so many places that, Biz would call me up and say, yo, Shani, I'm in London. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing there? Yo, they had this record shop, and I had to go pick this up from the shop. So there was always something, magical going on with Biz.
Yeah, that's my big brother right there, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. Gotti. Because I don't, we got a whole Kane, you know what I mean? Like, how is it working with Kane?
Yeah, how is it working with Kane? I want to know that. Yeah.
I'm a fan out, because these are my superheroes. Like, these are all my superheroes. And like, growing up, like, these kind of study, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, that's great to hear. Working with Big Daddy Kane is incredible. I've never seen anybody be able to adjust to anyone else. Like, when I say adjust to anyone else, I remember the first time I heard BDP's The Bridge Is Over. Now, we're talking about my signature song, which is Have a Nice Day. And I remember I was coming back from overseas, and I got in the back of the car. I was in the back of the limo. And, back in the days, sometimes if you didn't have your regular limousine driver and they didn't know you, everybody had a demo. Everybody has something to play for you. You never got a restful moment, or somebody always want to ride past their house or take the long way around so that they can show people that they had you in the car.
Yeah.
And this just happened to be one of those days. And I remember the limo driver was like, yo, you going to want to hear this. And I was like, nah, I had a long flight. I really don't want to hear this. And he was like, oh, you don't want to hear this? I said, nah, I do. And then I said, just go ahead and play it, because you figure after a while, you don't want to be mean, and who knows what you could be listening to. So just give everybody a chance.
Right.
And all of a sudden I heard do, 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 do. So I was like, okay, what is this? And I was like, okay, this must be some type of Jamaican song or some reggae song. And then all of a sudden I heard The Bridge Is Over, The Bridge Is Over. I was like, what is that? What? I was like, for me, I felt like I just left America a couple of weeks ago, and the bridge is the shit. I come back
a week ago,
and the bridge is over. What the fuck happened? Like, like exactly, like it was all good just a week ago. What happened? And that's when I heard, the part where KRS-One says his part about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hold on.
Get the guns.
That's Kane, because my mind is really sharp. So I'm thinking, hold on. KRS-One, that's Kane's friend. That's, hold on. That's Kane's friend. Call Kane. So we got in touch with Kane. Kane was like, Shani, I already know. And I was like, yo, isn't that the one who was helping you move your furniture? And he was like, yeah. I was like, so what the fuck is this?
Wow.
And he was like, don't worry, Shani. I was like, I'm not gonna worry because you're gonna fix this. And so then we came up with Have a Nice Day. And so that's how we fixed that. And I remember my first time seeing Chris, I saw him in a bank one day. And he told the story. I didn't tell it. He
didn't want that work.
So he told the story. So I didn't so this is not my, I'm telling you. And I looked and I was like, hold on, that's KRS-One. And somebody was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, hold the baby. Because I'm a mom, but I had my baby with me. And I was like, hold the baby. And I went up to him and was like, so, just ready. And he was so fucking polite. He was so calming. His voice and his facial expressions was like a Zen master. He was like, no,
the philosopher.
Me? Yeah, I was like, I wanted him to be disrespectful.
He's the teacher.
I wanted him to be disrespectful so we could fight. And he just wouldn't. He just was like, you're right. Like, just so humble, took his hands on his chest and was like, whoa. Yes. Right. And I was like, what is
he took all the air out the balloon.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. And because of that, I had a whole different respect and love for Chris. That I remember one day we were performing, and some promoters would luck up and get us on the same bill because sometimes you ask who's on the bill, sometimes you don't. And some promoters would luck up and get us at the same time. And I remember us going out and I'm performing, doing the show, everything else. And then he goes out there and he does his song. And when it came to my part, he switched the words. And when he switched the words, I stopped the show. And I told him, I said, listen, so the crowd is like, what's going on? Like they rumbling because they want to know like what's happening.
Yeah, respect.
Don't change history. Write our history.
See, real hip hop to the T. She
come
from this woman right here has come from a different cloth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I like, yo, you can't do that. You got to go out there and you got to sing that shit the way you said that shit. You got to sing it for what it's worth. That right there, that's hip hop history. We can't unwrite that, not even for niceness. We got to go out there and you got to go out there and do it the way you do it. And he was like, all right. And he went back out there. And when I tell you, he tears a show. Well, I ain't got to explain it to you, but he tore the show up. He did it the way he was supposed to do it. We hugged at the end and that was it. Because again, a lot of people don't understand that this hip hop thing for me is not a genre of music. This is my culture. And on some days, this is my religion. And I won't allow it to be changed.
That's beautiful. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like, again, cut from a different cloth. When you talked earlier about when you was in them streets battling, your approach to it is like the same. Nah, dude, get out there and do that rhyme because I'm coming right behind you, and I'm gonna put my foot in your back, so you might as well go ahead and just get it off.
Yeah.
So to understand that, not take it personal, not like that's salute to you once again. Yeah.
Thank you.
So now you've been hosting Have a Nice Day radio show, Rock the Bells, for the last, 4 years, 5 years?
No, it hasn't. It's only been 2 years.
Been 2 years? Well, I listen to you every single day. So that's all I listen to. And, it's just, I love the fact that everybody has their choice, their selection. You can program music the way you want to program it, but what feeds my soul is what you chefing up, and big shout out to my brother, DJ Cool V, who rocks out every day, no doubt. So how is that being on that platform, getting able to get your voice out every single day?
It's wonderful. It allows me to definitely push the type of hip hop that I love. And I love all hip hop, young old classic, new shit, you know, ratchet, you name it, you know, I love it. Everything has its time and its place. And so for me to be able to have that large of a platform, and the honor in it is that we built it up to that. You know, we didn't start off with 7 million listeners. You know, we you know, L had the vision of what he knew could come from it. So, you know, big shout out to LL Cool J, because he was like, listen, I just want you to go on radio and I just want you to be you. And allowing me to be me has allowed us to become what we've become.
But it's like there's a whole nother skill set involved with radio. Like, I'll be honest with you, Gotti, and tell you, like, I'm tech illiterate. I fumble around with this right here, you know. But when you're in studio or even at home, when you're broadcasting to 7 million people, there's a lot to it. It's a different skill set. So that to handle the creative, like, I've been in studio with you. You had me on as a guest, and you do your off the head rhyme off the head. Like, every single day you giving people different content, and that's just, how do you maneuver all that? Like, what is that? What is that?
You know what that is? That's hip hop, and I've lived a lot, and that's the streets, and that's the 80s. You know, everybody has a story, but I don't know if everybody has, like, you know, a series. I think mine's would be considered more of a series rather than just one or two stories. You know, this is something that can go on and on. I think I have like as many episodes as Law and Order up in my damn brain. So I don't think we'll ever run out. And there's always something day to day. I make sure that I incorporate my day into my show. So every day is a new day. So every show is a new show.
And you have your family involved as well.
Yes, absolutely. My son is the fact checker. So that this way, when I get on air, when I do tell a story or I put something in the news, he checks it. And what he does is he considers it a triple check, which means I won't just say something that I hear on or I see on just one platform. We have to see it on 3 different platforms, whether it's one that we respect and one that we know is true, and then one that we know, you know, that type of thing. And that's only because having an audience that is so large, you have to be very careful what it is that you put out on the airwaves, because, you know, people will run with stuff and turn it into stuff and social media. And I just don't want to do that to anyone. So, you know, if I tell you somebody fucked up, they really fucked up because I checked it 3 times.
Yeah. And your son, like, coming up in the game as a mom, coming up in the industry as a mom, coming up in the streets as a mom, and, you know, to see your how many children do you have?
2.
You have 2. Like, you've done a phenomenal job.
Thank
you. You know, not your children are above board. You know what I mean? Like, that's, considering where we come from, you know, you represent something very positive. Can you talk about being a mom and a mother in this hip hop industry?
Well, for me, being, and I consider myself to be one of the first hip hop moms. And that means my son was in the club with me 3-4 o'clock in the morning, different things like that. And the main reason is I exposed him to everything. And some people feel like, well, when you expose them to things, then it allow. No, it's when you hide those things, and when you hide the consequences of those things from your children, which makes them want to go out there and try it for themselves. And so because he was exposed to literally everything, he understood the consequences of every action. So that allows me now to have a young man who is well-versed, well-read. You know, there's a certain list of books that he has read. Now, this list is usually given to young men when they enter into the penitentiary. But he realized that he did not have to go away in order to read these books, because his mom already had that library at home and he had already been exposed to it. So he didn't have to learn 48 laws by breaking 48 laws and wind up getting 48 years or in there 48 months and trying to find something to read. He already could read that from home. So it allowed me to have the benefits of him being exposed to so many things and understanding the consequences. He understood that. So now, you know, I have this well-versed young man that I love working with every day, you know, a vegan who works out, you know, very respectful to his mother. You know, I exposed him to Islam very early. You know, he went to Sister Clara Muhammad School when he was little, because I understood what type of young man I wanted to raise, and I wanted him to always know that, you know, the way into heaven is at the foot of his mother. And I wanted him to be a young man who never spoke louder than me. And it's hard to speak louder than me when your mom got a mouth that's always, you know, I was like, sometimes I have to look at him and like, okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. But then I also needed him to be, you know, I needed his physical presence to be that, not of intimidation, but to be that of, okay, you know what? She comes with her own security. Like I created my own security, you know, outside of my husband, you know, being able to walk into a place and feel totally safe, which is something that was very important to me. And it's very important to a lot of Black women, especially young, especially when we're younger. So we look for that safety factor. So I made sure that I instilled all of the things that I wanted in a man in my son. You know, and then I was blessed enough to find them in my husband. So
powerful.
Good, you know. But yeah, I expose him to everything. You know, he knows what it is to go up on a visit. He knows what it is to go and get, you know, the food out the machine and the picture tickets. He knows what it is when somebody has life. He knows what it is when they're gonna come home. He knows what it is when they're not. He knows the consequence of hustling, using drugs, taking pills, ODing, because he was exposed to everything. Now, do I suggest every parent should do this? No, because it depends on your inner strength and what you are and how you are. You know, I've never drank, smoked, or used drugs, but I was around it. But that's my own inner strength.
That's another amazing fact about you as well, is that, you know, you never drank, smoked, did drugs, nothing, no weed, nothing. And that's, you know, again, coming where we come from, it's everywhere. So to be able to avoid it and be the person you are, again, salute.
Thank you.
Salute. Now, being a woman that's a pioneer.
Yes.
And seeing what's going on right now in the world with all these strong, powerful women doing their thing from politics, business, entertainment. How does that make you feel?
Honored. I feel honored. It is definitely a blessing to me to see where young women are today. And I want to say this, and I want everyone to understand it, that a lot of these young ladies that you see, when you look at what they're wearing, that is their costume for their performance for people. That is not necessarily what they wear when they walk around their house. They don't necessarily talk the way they talk around their home. This is what they do for entertainment. But people confuse that and think that that is just the way they are. No, that is the way they are to the public. And because everything is so public now, that's what it appears to be. But what a person does online for 4 or 5 minutes, you don't know. They go put on a sweat hood, some regular sweatpants, some sneakers, take all their makeup off, take their nails off, and just have a regular time. But they also take care of their business. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Cardi B. Shout out to Rhapsody. You know, shout out to Remy Ma. Shout out to, you know, and I usually don't never do names because I don't like to forget anyone. But I just would like to say shout out to all of my young sisters that's out there, city girls, and shout out to everyone that's out there doing it and making it happen, getting these deals. And even though occasionally a bad deal may slip in, they find out early enough to correct it and still be able to live out their careers making their money. So I am very proud of my hip hop sisters and where they are going.
Even in the world of the politics, do you know, Kamala Harris is the VP.
Yes.
Is the VP elect. That's powerful. You got AOC, you got Ilhan Omar, you got, you know, there's a lot of sisters right now. You got Stacey Abrams down in Georgia.
Yes.
You know, you got a lot of it's a big push right now in terms of women. And, you know, like in terms of being a pioneer, like you're an icon for women, so to speak, you know, not so to speak, that's just what it is. So
thank you.
You know, it's just it's a blessing for us to have you on the show.
Well, you know? Thank you. I have definitely enjoyed it. Whenever you need me, I will definitely be back. I will know not to use this lipstick anymore because this is crazy. And it's like every time I wipe, it's more and more coming off. So I'm like, yo, where's all the lipstick coming from?
But before we let you go, Gotti, I want you to. I know you got something to highlight.
Yeah, I want to ask you this, Roxanne. You know, like when you did this song, Big Mama, right? Because that's one of the like infamous songs. Like, I want to say that, you know, that diss track right there, I would say like open the doors for the other beefs that came like after with the female rappers. And I have to say that was one, just like Have a Nice Day was a big one. Like, what was the thought process in the zone you was in when you did that record?
Well, that's the year that I officially retired. So I came in with a bang and I was going to leave with a bang. And I told, like, even when a lot of the young ladies who felt a little, they felt a way about it. They were like, well, how could you, or why would you? And then I just had to tell them, like, yo, listen, that's hip hop, so it's a take it or leave it circumstance. And if I was to go back and talk to 18-year-old Roxanne Shante, I wouldn't change a thing. People ask me that all the time, like, okay, well, since you see how the women were trying to get together and be sisters and be, at that time, I really wasn't looking for that. Like, I have sisters, I wasn't looking for any more. This is where I was going with the whole hip hop industry. This is how I came in and this is how I was going to go out. And so I wouldn't change anything. I have no regrets. None.
No, I heard the show you did when you were in the studio. You went out to the West Coast, and you had a lot of those MCs in the studio.
Yes.
And, I'm like, that's not weird to you at all. You're like, oh yeah, but on record, it's like, yeah, nah.
It is what it is. Like you don't see boxers necessarily carry grudges after the fight.
Yeah.
It's usually the loser that holds a grudge. Like, but the winner is like, yo, let me take you and your family to dinner. Let's be cool. You know what I'm saying? Usually the person who knocks out the other person goes over to their corner like, yo, you okay? You all right? All right, good.
Right.
Let's move on. And those that don't, then I guess it's because they hold on to something for whatever reason. But I love all of my hip hop sisters, every last one of them that I talked about on the record. And this is not a cop out from the record, because again, like I said, I would never change a thing, nor do I regret it at all. But I do know that now, you're looking at 50 years in front of you. So at 50 years, would you still do the same thing you did then? No, I wouldn't. But would I change anything I did then? No. And my reason for that is because it might change something today. And
if somebody came left at you, what would you do?
Oh, they're not gonna do that.
Nah. You wouldn't put pen to paper and just let me set the record. Let them know what it is. They must not know. No,
I never. My whole entire life, I've never put pen to paper. So I wouldn't start putting.
That's right. You straight off the head.
Right. So every record's a freestyle.
Next level MC.
Yeah, so nobody could ever get me to put pen to paper unless I'm signing a contract. Then I'll put pen to paper.
Yeah.
You gotta bow down.
Only a few can do that. Hey, only a few can do that. Queen, Biggie, Jay-Z, and you. That's it. Only a few can do that off the top.
No, Supernatural, Craig G.
Yeah.
I've never met a female with Supernatural and definitely Craig G.
Wow. Yeah. See, y'all next level MCs. I'm not right there. I like to sit and think about it and put it down, rearrange.
Oh, and let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, the pen is mightier than the sword. Respect.
Jules from the Queen, Roxanne Shante.
True.
Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for blessing us with your presence, Queen.
Absolutely. Anytime.
This is the Madism TV show with your boy Hakim Green, co-host Bulletz Gotti. You know what it is, Madism all day, every day. We just been blessed with Roxanne Shante. And with that said, everybody in the chat, everybody in on the web, salute. We love you, and we out of here. Peace.
Peace.